July 12th, 2013. It's been over 2,000 years since the birth of Julius Caesar of Roman military fame. The Julian calendar. July itself is named after Julius Caesar. Considered by many the greatest military mind that ever lived. Basically the single reason Europe as we know it exists. Basically the founder of England and France as we know it. One could claim Germany. Pretty much the reason all kinds of bastardizations of languages occurred to the point of not realizing that Gaelic means Gaulish, like Gaul was changed to Gael. He just went in there and kicked everyone's ass into Roman submission. They all developed in their own little unique ways once Latin became the forced educational standard. And once Christianity came in, well, there you have that. Well, what I want to talk about the Adam Kokesh arrest the other day. Been 3 days now, and really, yeah, the disinformation watchdogs are all over it. But there's still not enough people don't realize that Kokesh is simply a Zionist plant. All right, now you can watch the videos. You gotta watch what happened. Like when he organized those rallies, where he's basically, he's a plant, he's a mole. He's trying to get among the opposition crowd. I just wish somebody would have taken him out, because they could have at the weed rallies and stuff. And one of my close friends was there, and he's on tape with him, standing right next to Kokesh. I was like, what you could have done, the opportunity of your life to take out a serious threat to the people of the United States. This person, this Jewish agent, this lifetime dedicee of nonsense and chaos. So much money is behind Kokesh. He's been arrested over 15 times. He always gets out within days and goes right back to doing something really antagonistical, as if he's fighting for our rights. It's not what he's doing. That March on Washington, he was told by his superiors to cut that off, or if they even planned it in the first place. They just wanted to see what the reaction would be. And without any warning on July 4th, he just goes out there with a shotgun and has himself filmed loading it like a nut, and supposedly getting arrested by battering rams and helicopters. And you know what the tactic is there, don't you? The psychological tactic? It's to scare people. It works. It's an isolated nonsense narrative where we don't even see an image of any of this. It's like the story of Osama being raided, and there's no visuals or any proof other than, the neighborhoods. Yeah, there was helicopters and a police scene, but everything the Kokesh people said happened to him, we're just left to believe it or not. I don't believe it at all. We're supposed to believe that he just sat there knowing that they were going to come with a bunch of Schedule 1 and 2 drugs? No. That's all just to scare the drug people into being afraid they'll be raided too. That's all it is set up, get everybody's trust, and then nail the kingpin as if, it could have been you. Julian Assange, that's what that was. Nothing ever really happened to him. The U.S. wanted Julian Assange, but I had him 3 years ago. They're never going to bring him to the United States. Never going to happen. Notice how the rape trial just kind of disintegrated? And he's just writing his books and stuff, getting all donations from all the places. Kokesh put up his donation page 6 days before that big arrest for the weed rally. I mean, if that doesn't tip you off. Just like the Sandy Hook. They had those donation pages up the day before. Not to mention the actors that they brought in. Kokesh, you gotta come together against him. Everybody's gotta be against that guy. And you gotta wake up to the Jewish reality. The Jews and the government are not gonna hurt another Jew. Just the fact that he's Jewish makes him nonsense. what always should tip you off is when they don't talk about Zionism being the central reality to the proactive agenda against the people of the United States by the government of the United States. Well, there is no government of the United States. It's an occupation, Israeli occupation. It's just a different kind. It's just like in Palestine. Israeli occupation. Military occupation of the people on their own land. Unrightfully. With the idea that it's all, that people have rights when they don't. And they're doing it real careful with America because they need America's commerce and they just want to pacify everyone. They're bringing in all the illegal aliens and taking care of their housing and their transportation and everything's paid for. None of those people are ever in jail no matter what they do. And they steal the jobs and they take the other jobs over to China, and they've been giving China, outright giving China governance in land of the United States. There's all kinds of land in Texas and southeast United States that is owned by China now, and so many people don't know that. So many of the port cities in the Gulf, after the BP reality ruined all that. Hopefully the hurricanes keep coming through and take out some of the Chinamen, but what are you going to do? But I just think we got to start with these obvious people and go from there. Alex Jones and Tarpley, just any of the people that you know are just Jewish shills and trolls like Radowski and pretty much all of the RT anchors, Abby Martin, and a woman that was before her, and even the Young Turks. That's not run by the guy from Turkey. That's run by Mankiewicz, the Jewish guy that sometimes sits down next to him. That's the guy who runs the Young Turks. Jewish. It's all evil Jews, you know, and you have to point it out as a racist reality with the Jews, but you can't say that all Jews are like that, because they're not even close. Not even 9 out of 10. But that one that is in a powerful place, and they've been working on it for hundreds and hundreds of years. They started off in America by making phony money. When they took the gold from when they raided the Spanish, you know, the pirates of the Caribbean, those are all Jews. And they would steal the Spanish gold and melt it down and then cool it over other coins, and they'd make 10 times the money and save it and give it to each other. And that's how they would outbuy everything. And they started the transatlantic slave trade, and that's how they really made their money. All black people. There's only one group of people they should be zeroed in on to blame for slavery. Jews. American Jews. And Jews in England. They did it. They owned all the ships that brought the blacks laying in their feces for a month. And that was just a way to weed out the weak ones. The strong ones that survived, they were put into slavery in the east border of the United States. And the black population of the United States now are descendants of those people. Louis Farrakhan's got some great speeches about this. That guy's a great man, and if you notice, the mainstream media stifled him almost completely once they realized that he had caught on completely. But he's got a good following, and black people that follow him are very well informed about the truth of their history as far back as they have been allowed to know. But I hope the time is coming. The one thing that they can't get past is that they are only 2% of the population. If we overrun them, if we take down their networks, take out their television stations and all their avenues of disinformation, and then go after them specifically, by name, all the Jews in government, all the Jews in the mass media, all the Jews in entertainment, I mean, really, your favorite stars, you got to go after them. Got to take them out. This is nonsense. This is a racist agenda against everybody else of dominance. The IRS, the Federal Reserves, all run by evil Jewish men that just steal everyone's money. If you're doing pretty well and you're in the middle class in the United States, say like you make something like 150, 200 grand a year, half of it goes to the government, to the Jews of the government. And they got it set up by the congregate of taxes. And that is just a phenomenon that has been put in place gradually since the start of all the campaigns, the world wars that were run and funded And they funded both sides of the war, whether it was Hitler in the United States, but funded by the same Jewish bankers, so they could control the outcome and devastate Europe. All those wonderful buildings just destroyed. All that culture ransacked by Jews. Kind of as revenge for how they were treated hundreds of years before, but still no validity to that on the scope of humanity. But the information age had not come, and it's here. People can know this. We got things like Wikipedia that are out there to lie to people, and they'll just have a page about 9/11 as if that was all the official story isn't questioned at all. The Osama raid, Osama died 10 years before that. There was no killing of Osama bin Laden last year. It didn't happen. So all this is just nonsense. Adam Kokesh is sitting supposedly in prison now, waiting for his phony trial. And he probably will have a trial, and they just want to make it look like they're taking out one of your people. And they want to goad people into either revolting or being totally pacified, because they know there won't be any just half-ass in between. Whatever the outcome with regard to believing in Kokesh, they win. The only way they can be compromised is if we cut Kokesh out and recognize that he's one of them. Then we can organize and realize what they did to dupe us with someone like that, like they did with Julian Assange and plenty of others. I really actually can remember the effect of Watergate. They had everyone believing their stupid story by those Jewish reporters from the Washington Post, that Deep Throat informed them of all this wrongdoing. As if the FBI wouldn't have followed those reporters to wherever they were meeting Deep Throat. That was the proof that it was all set up. Deep Throat is a porn term. Deep Throat. You were the Deep Throat. The audience of the United States and the world was Deep Throat, taking it in the mouth, down the throat, the nonsense of that. All lies, all set up. Nixon probably laughed about all of it. He didn't want to be president anymore. He was sick of being blamed for Vietnam. He wanted to go vacation, and he did. Total immunity. Just died peacefully, just stupid. Everybody believes these things. Like JFK film where he's shot, that's BS. That's all doctored film footage. His brains weren't blown away like that. It didn't happen. There's autopsy reports that show his head's intact. It's all fine. But the film shows him getting his face blown off. That did not happen. They hit you from 5 different directions with nonsense, so they can control the reaction. The planes that hit the 9/11, they weren't commercial airliners. They were God who knows what. The idea that something can be controlled at that speed, and they could go through solid steel without any part of it breaking apart outside the wall. Those planes are remote control titanium something. Who knows? But, because it's impossible an airliner could do something like that, they get to control all the disinformation about the people that catch on to that, the no planes people and all. It makes everyone look like idiots. Kokesh, when he's locking the barrels of the gun, it's to make gun people look like nuts. Like Alex Jones when he screams, 1776 will commence again on the Piers Morgan show. That's just after they get... It's a pattern, it's a formula. Once they get the momentum to a certain peak and pitch, they get all the eyes on the screen, they have this one single actor who discredits everybody. And that's what Kokesh did on July 4th. It's July 12th now. It hasn't been much time. Just like Sandy Hook, we've got to have a backlash. Backlash against Adam Kokesh.